Nick Baldwin for MMAsucker.com here with an undefeated bantamweight prospect here in Winnipeg at the Winnipeg Academy of Mixed Martial Arts. He defeated Stephen Cervantes in his sixth pro MMA fight by unanimous decision in the main event of Mercenary Combat League 1 this past Friday night at RBC Convention Center. It is Brad Katona. Brad, thank you very much for the time. Can't imagine you're doing, I have to imagine you're doing quite well just 5 days out from your last fight. How are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling fantastic. Body's completely healthy. So I was back in the gym training on Monday, just light stuff, and I felt a couple scratches, a couple bruises, but besides that, I'm quite healthy.
And when do you get into heavy training again? Is it today or take a little while off?
I kind of do a deload week where we work more just technical stuff and even for strength and conditioning. I like to keep it up just because I like keeping that consistency. Once you break consistency, it's hard to find it again. So keeping it first off, I enjoy what I'm doing, and I enjoy training, and that's why I compete. It's just an extension of that. But kind of everything's just light, nothing too intense. Even if we're going right into another fight or right into a training camp, it's still, you got to deload. Your body's stressed. You got to find some way of recovering. So I prefer an active recovery, do that, and then probably ramp up to normal training next week.
Were you happy with the win? We were talking off air briefly, and you said this was, you were having fun out there.
Yeah.
Not always is that the case, but here it was. Were you happy with the victory?
It's often the case I'm having fun out there, but the fight went quite well. It really did. I really wanted that finish. Unfortunately, I didn't get it. Props. I tried. I tried my best to finish that fight. Props to him, man. He escaped numerous chokes. I rewatched the fight, and they looked like they were on. I was in the fight. They looked like they were on, or they felt like they were on, and he gutted him out. So for me, getting that experience of the 3 rounds is always nice. Now, I would have liked the finish. The finish always looks great on your record. Getting another decision isn't ideal, but my performance was good. I've no complaints. I found a perfect groove starting off the fight. Well, I was nice and relaxed. Past couple, I've been a little too tense. This one, I found that perfect groove. So just keep finding that spot.
And as far as those submission escapes, I was watching it. I was super close to the cage, and they looked like submissions that 90% of fighters would tap to, or they would go unconscious. I wasn't there. I wasn't you. I wasn't him, so I can't say for sure. But they looked really, really tight. That has to be on him. That has to be, more of a plus to him. He was able to tough it out rather than something you did wrong.
Yeah, I think some of it is he just has a natural resistance to chokes too. We have some guys in the gym where they take a lot more squeeze even in the gym to choke to something. So it was a combination of probably his resistance to the chokes, just natural. I don't know which way his veins and arteries are going, but it's slightly different than normal people. But that and staying calm, he kept his composure. A lot of times when you're choking or when you're choking somebody, they tighten up and they hesitate, and then it's too late. At that point, you're going down that tunnel. You're going to be choking soon. But he kept his composure. He kept his composure and either fought off the hooks and got his back to the mat, did exactly what you're supposed to do, or he fought on the opposite wrist and just peeled the grip. So I was choking him with one arm, and it's really hard to get, especially when somebody has some sort of resistance, to get a clean choke with one arm.
Well, 6-0, a number of finishes. UFC Winnipeg's coming up in a couple months. Everybody's saying this. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody's asking you, do you think you did enough?
I certainly think my performance is great. I think I did enough. Now, if the UFC doesn't want to pick me up for that show, that's fine. We're just going to keep on collecting wins, keep on getting experience. My plan is once I'm in the big show, I'm going to run through it. So if that means a couple more wins to get that experience, or if it means getting the call in December, I'm just ready. I'm ready for bigger fights, and I'm just looking forward to keep on getting that experience.
Gun to your head, who do you fight for next?
Oh man, UFC would be really cool, but I like I said, it's just another opponent. That's all I'm looking for. I'm looking to stay active. I've had to wait for many of my fights, going a year in between fights before. I'm just looking forward to, if December 16th is the date, fantastic. If it's earlier, all the better.
Is there anything in your mind that stands out as something the UFC might see in you that is stopping them from signing you right away? Because, I mean, it can't really be your lack of experience. Cody Garbrandt, the UFC bantamweight champion, in your weight class, he was signed at 5-0, 6-0, right around where you are. Is there anything that stands out as to, could be a reason why the UFC is not going to pick you up for December?
The bar is only getting higher, that's why. Everywhere. A lot of times guys get into the UFC because of timing. Do they need a bantamweight? Do they need a middleweight? Do they need, who do they need? And what are they looking for in a star? Maybe they want me to build more experience outside. Maybe they don't. Cody Garbrandt had a whole bunch of knockout wins. You can't really argue with that. I've had a couple decisions, but I know all my decisions have been exciting. I don't think there was one where I was laying. Well, I'm not a lay and pray fighter. You see my last fight, it might have gone the distance, but I was trying to finish it the entire time. So I am going for those finishes. With that being said, I'm also fighting higher level guys than others. Those 5-0 guys who have beaten, the best record they've beaten is 3-3. I fought a 6-0 guy, 7-3. Even Patrick Ward being 1-0, If he fights again, he's going to go on a tail. Michael, hey, I fought at 1-0. He's now 4-1. I'm the only loss he has, and he should be 5-1 soon. So the guys I'm fighting are legit guys, So certainly, I think that's one of the reasons I'm not getting quite the same amount of stoppages as other people, because I'm fighting top talent.
Now, I heard you are no longer pursuing an engineering career. You're going to school, I think even as of the last time we did an interview, and now I believe it was you who told James Lynch in your guys' last interview you're a full-time fighter. Is that true?
Right now, that's the case. I had a contract with an employer. I graduated engineering from the University of Manitoba. I got a job and I was working that. It was a contract position, so once it ended, we extended a little bit, but just how timing worked out, my contract ended with them, and the Winnipeg show was happening. So it was just perfect time to kind of concentrate on fighting and make a run for it. And right now it's going quite well. So we'll see. Of course, I'm still looking at work and seeing what the opportunities are out there. But this is what I want to do. This is the dream, and it's something that's certainly realistic.
How important is it to be a full-time fighter? You're in your position. You're 6-0. You're young. You're only 25 years old, and you're on the cusp of a call-up to the UFC. How important is it to dedicate your entire life to fighting right now?
It makes a difference. It certainly makes a difference. Now, when I was working, what makes a big difference to me is rate of improvement, as well as my ability to compete regularly. With work, I would be going to the gym before work and then making all my meals ahead of time. And then going to work and then going back to the gym. It was very hard. To sustain that. It wasn't sustainable. Right now, my schedule is much more sustainable, just concentrating on training, especially for fight camps. Now, outside of fight camps, I'm also going to be training more, so I'm improving faster. I can actually look and research, research other fighters, so I can look at, how Khabib does his ground and pound, so I can actually put some research in before I'm either in the gym or I'm at work, or pretty well I'm sleeping and resting. So right now, what's important is I'm healthy, so I'm able to bounce off my past fight right away if something presents itself. Now, if I was working, that's going to be a whole lot more stress on you going right back into a training camp.
Back to your fight at Mercenary Combat League this past Friday. This was your first time in the main event professionally. The spotlight was on you. You're the hometown hero, taking a guy from New Mexico who, just thinking about it, probably didn't have too many of his supporters here. What was that like? Being in the main event, did that change anything? Did it make it more exciting? Did it feel bigger, more nerves, or was it just another fight?
Nothing changed until afterwards. Yeah, I had some more interviews beforehand, but, as I start gaining more success, that's just going to happen, and I'm ready for that to happen. I'm ready to be swamped fight week. mentally I'm prepared for it. Now, does it take practice? Of course. That's why there's the UFC jitters, and that's why there's everything around any big fight. But the only thing that changed was after the fight. It was certainly nice walking out of that cage and seeing all my friends and family there. That was the main difference. That meant a lot.
Well, and I remember looking back, because I was sitting right at the cage, and looking back as you were walking out, and everybody from WAMA, your Curtis Brigham, your other coaches, all of your teammates who were on the card, George Davis, Lee Godet, and so on, they were all there right behind you. That was one of the coolest moments of the entire night. Is that something that happens all the time, or was this a bit unique?
The only other time I saw that happen was when Curtis fought for the AFC title, and it was his idea. He said, "Do you want all the WAM guys to walk out with you?" And I said, "Absolutely. It's my team. So having your team behind you, both literally and figuratively, was really nice. So having them walk out, like I said, it was really special after the fight. Afterwards, I can reflect on it. I was trying to take as much of it in as possible in the moment, but it's hard without letting that kind of steer you off. So when I was walking out, I just picked a target, walked towards it, and just tried to do the same thing I do every time.
Were you happy with MCL in general as an organization, your treatment as a fighter, as their headliner? Were you happy compared to other regional shows, say Prestige FC, et cetera, et cetera? Were you happy with MCL?
Mercenary was run very well. Even before the fights, I was able to watch them, and it was excellent. There was minimal delays. There was one delay for a doctor, and then after that, they didn't make that mistake again. So the whole event was run very well. Being a fighter, it was great. I couldn't have asked for more. They set up interviews for me. Weigh-ins will run professionally. It was. And they put on great fights. It's certainly nice fighting on a card where I can watch the fights and be entertained thoroughly.
This was your sixth pro fight and your first pro fight in Winnipeg. What was that like? I know it was something you've wanted to do ever since you started.
Yeah, like I said, it was really special afterwards. In the moment, leading up to it, I was trying to appreciate it. It was certainly nice sleeping in my own bed before the fight and not being in a hotel room. But, it was something that was really nice afterwards.
Well, Brad, I do appreciate the time. Congratulations once again. If there's anybody you'd like to thank, any sponsors, any thank yous, the floor is yours.
As always, I want to thank my team, my family, my friends. They've been extremely supportive of me, and Andre Pavlich for putting on an awesome show. Mercenary Combat League. I know they did well. I hope they come again. I know it was a lot of stress for him, so I really appreciate the work he put in to make the show not only professional, but he put on some damn good fights.
Well, Brad, thank you very much for the time. Congratulations once again, and good luck in the near future. Hopefully, we'll see you at UFC Winnipeg in December.
Yeah, thank you very much.